Hello everyone, and welcome back to Mobile Studio. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. And today, Gundam Aerial SD. Wait, something's off. That's more like it. Today we're going to take a look at the latest kit in the MGS series, and that is the Gundam Aerial. A very highly anticipated kit that I've been waiting for since February. And it is finally here. So what is the MGSD series? For those of you unaware, it is a combination between Master Grade and the SD, which stands for Super Deformed. Basically, it's an SD on steroids. Now SDs are mostly known for their chibi style and their simplicity, but when being upgraded to Master Grade, they look like this. Obviously, we still retain that chibi look, but again, we gain a lot of detail. Now the MGSD lineup is actually relatively new, with the first kit being released back in January of 2023, being the Freedom Gundam, followed by Barbados in October of that same year, and just before this kit was the Wing Gundam 0EW in November of last year, and now looking here at the current release, the Gundam Aerial. So this makes it the fourth model kit in the series. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the sides. Right here is highlighting the shoulder connectors and how much movement you can get with them. And on this part, it points to the other multiple sections, such as the waist, neck, torso, and how all that provides a wide range of articulation. So now I'm expecting some really good articulation from this kit. Here we have the Aerial, with its beats being separated from the shield and mounted onto a Witch from Mercury weapon display base, which I highly recommend, and I am glad that I was able to pick some of these up. Here we can see that the shield units for each part of the suit have been recreated with these metallic colors in red and blue to recreate the Permit Score 6 state just by switching them around. Here we can see how much more advanced the knee parts are, that they're able to move in conjunction when the legs are bent. So even here it says it maintains a natural looking form. Very cool. On this side we get the front and rear view, and we get a height approximation of 115 millimeters, which equals to around 4.5 inches. A very cool looking and also a little bit weird shot of the inner frame of the Aerial, but I also imagine that once I see this in person, it's gonna look really cool. Here's a shot of something that really captivated me when I first saw this kit, and that is the camera eyes. And it was done by this multi-layer effect. There's also this really cool gloss injection material that's gonna give off this bright metallic look, so that's gonna be really cool to see. And here we have a little description box with more information about what the MGSD is all about. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 bags of runners. For a builder's note flyer. And of course the manual itself. And wow, look at that. They should have used this image for the front of the box. Definitely. I think this actually looks better than this. Alright, here on the back side we have our painting guide with our front and rear view as well. A couple more close-ups. I'm really loving this image. Some more really cool shots. And here we have the permit score 6. The attachments for the body parts. Now let's go ahead and take a closer look at those runners. I absolutely love the reflection on the clear parts. The color on the runners is actually really good. It almost looks like if it's already painted. Here we have this really shiny red section of the shell units. And here are the shiny blue ones. Here we have the eyes. Here we have the 2 halves of the head and the V-fin. 2 identical C runners. Runner D includes some of the other armor parts that are a darker gray. Our Mountain Dew colored beam sabers and effect. Runner F and our metallic inner frame parts. And honestly, this looks really good. Again, it almost looks like if it's already painted. Runner G, full of inner frame parts. Here we see a faceplate, torso pieces, more inner frame parts on H1. Here we have the 2 halves of the inner frame for the head. Again, level of detail is really good here. Hopefully you can see this texture on camera and just how awesome that looks. And more inner frame pieces on H2. Here are the 2 sides of the beam rifle. Runner H, all in red. And of course our Rowan decals, which there seems to be plenty of. So I'm very happy we don't have any stickers here. I think the best way to approach this review is to actually start with the inner frame. That way we can really appreciate the articulation and the engineering behind these types of kits. Also, we get to see all the inner workings. We can see a high level of detail in the inner parts, and right now they're only a single color, so I can imagine them being color separated, how much more they would stand out. The kit itself is very sturdy. I'm actually able to move the joints and they're able to hold their place. It doesn't feel flimsy or loose. Lifting up the shoulders, so stretching out the arms. Right, we can make a T-pose. Moving it further up. The articulation on the arm is actually pretty straightforward. Right, we can rotate this all the way around if we wanted to. Bending of the elbow. These 3 fingers are static. This finger is able to move independently, as well as the thumb. And the same thing for the other hand. There is a little bit of extra movement on the waist, if you see right here. That way you're able to tilt just a little bit more. Now the highlight and the most impressive part of this kit is actually the way the leg is articulated. There's a lot going on here, and the articulation on the leg itself is really advanced. Let's start with a regular knee bend. As you can see, by bending the knee, this moves as well. So it's got a more organic movement, and it goes even further. If you bend it even further back, you'll actually see that this retracts as well. Now if you bend the leg this way, it actually doesn't even look normal anymore since it's more curved. Let's look at the foot. Although incomplete, we can still see how it works. And right here, this is the toe part, and this is able to move up and down. You can move the foot side to side. However, one thing that you can do, move it side to side like this. So the leg definitely is the more advanced part of this kit. And this is the one thing that I really appreciate about master grades, is that you have your inner frame. Same with real grades as well. Now another thing that was highlighted in the box were the eyes, and how much more realistic they are since they are layered, and we can see that right here. Also, another thing that we can really appreciate is the metallic injection here. Now let's go ahead and get this dressed up. And here it is, guys, the Aerial with all of his armor pieces on, and definitely looking much better. Now I wonder how much articulation do we have now that the armor pieces are on. On the shoulders, this is gonna get in the way for sure, but looks like not much. Bending of the elbow, still good. Now let's take a look at the tilt on the head. Looking up, it can look up a little bit. Alright, looking down. I mean, it is chibi, so the head is gonna be a bit bigger than the rest of the body. The waist. Okay. Let's look at the articulation on the leg itself. There's the bend on the knee, very natural. And if you bend it further, you see the rest of the leg react. I like the articulation on the tip of the toe. This is definitely good for posing. You can see that right here. I really like how the light reflects off from the clear armor pieces. It did took me a little bit longer than some of the other kits. Of course, this being a master grade, it comes with some more complicated parts. So be careful with some of them, as they may be easy to break. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the gimmicks that come with this kit. I guess you could call it a gimmick, although it is part of the Gundam itself, would be the backpack. Because in the backpack you have the two handles for the beam sabers. Speaking of beam sabers, we have the beam rifle, and right here it is with the effect. You get two beam sabers, which you attach the handles to on each of these ends. And lastly, we get the shield. And now the shield is really cool because you can take it apart. And this was a little bit tough to put together actually. The instructions were not super clear. And again, if you're not careful, you might break some parts, which I did came close to. Thankfully I didn't. So if you're building this one, just be careful because it is a little fragile. And then later on I'm going to show this with the Wish for Mercury display base. Now when it comes to equipping the weapons, it is pretty straightforward. Like other master grades, you can just clip them onto the hand itself, and once that's in there, it's actually pretty sturdy and it doesn't come off easily, so that's good. And there's the rifle equipped, and as you can see, it actually holds it pretty well. If I shake it, it's not too flimsy. Now for the beam itself, it is also very straightforward. We would just remove one of these from the backpack and attach the end, and that's it. And just like the rifle, you'll see this little opening so that you can attach it to the hand directly, and there is the beam saber attached. So for the second beam saber, you would just do the same thing, and the shield can be attached on either arm. Both of them have the connector right here, and there you go, fully equipped. That wraps up this build. Since this was our first MGSD, I can't compare it to earlier ones just yet, but we'll definitely get to them in the future. This is a kit that really lives up to the master grade name. It is well engineered, fun to build, and one that I do highly recommend. Let me know down in the comments if you're planning on picking this one up, or share your experiences with previous MGSDs. I would love to hear them. Thanks for watching, enjoy the rest of the video, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.